I heard from a lot of people this week who have back pain. And yeah, so I mean, I'm seeing some hands here raised on the screen. So we're just going to pay some extra attention today to postures and movement designed not only to protect the lower back, because we do that a lot in yoga. We talk about be careful that you don't do this, but also in terms of like strengthening and things you can do in your everyday life moving forward. So Louise is here, perfect. Louise has had some back stuff going on, and Gail. So we're going to start seated. And the very first thing I want to focus on is the way we sit. So I brought a visual tool here, this visual pelvis. So this sits inside of you, my friends, and these are your sitting bones, right? So you've probably seen pictures of this before, but these little two loops, that's what we sit on. And so when we say clear the flesh and get squared right on top of your sitting bones, what we're trying to do is make the pelvis like a bowl of water, and we don't want the water spilling forward or backward. So see if you can feel that right now. It's really like probably the first and maybe most important thing you can do in terms of preventing disc issues and keeping your spine healthy. So we're going to start right there on the sitting bones. And from there, I want you to just lift. Like imagine there's a string coming up through the crown of your head, and you might even feel that causing your abdominals to hug in tightly. Like there's suspension for your spine. And with that tall seat, now relax your shoulders, but keep that string pulling up through the crown of your head and your low belly engaged. Start to take deep breaths here. And imagine your breath spilling down the length of your spine. Breath being warm, healing light that's finding its way to any places of pain or tension in your back. You might notice after just being here for a few breaths, a tendency to start to tuck your tailbone under and sit back on your sacrum. So I want you to continue to remind yourself to get up right on top of those sitting bones. With the next breath in, pull your shoulders up by your ears, give a good squeeze, and then roll your shoulders back and down. We'll do that a couple of times. Big circle, shoulders up, back, and down. Not disturbing the length of the spine as we move our shoulders here. Good, and then let's lift the arms up overhead. Reach as tall as you can, and you might interlace the fingers or maybe just take a hold of one wrist at a time, but just let yourself lean an inch or two to the side to create even more length through the side body. Again, keeping that spine in mind. Coming back to the center with the arms. Interlace the fingers, palms down, and bring your arms out in front of you, but don't round over. So we want to stay with this tall spine. Pull your shoulders forward, but keep your chest lifted. You're going to feel something in the back of your shoulders, but not your lower back. So those of you that are struggling right now with back pain, I want you to stay like this, more upright today. It's the spinal flexion that really can cause more problems with the back. So from here, tall spine, hands on the front of the knees, pull your chest forward. And everybody do this. This is a therapeutic posture for strengthening the back. And then if you have back pain, you're going to come back to neutral only. If your back is really good and happy today, go ahead and go all the way to a rounded spine or seated cat. And then we'll go back again. Inhale, cow. And exhale, either neutral or rounded. And really like listen to your body, be honest with yourself. In yoga, so often less is more. And it might be that rounded back sitting over your computer or watching Netflix in bed that's really causing the problems. So we're going to avoid that today if you're inflamed or in pain. And let's all find our way back to a neutral spine. Bring your left arm across your body to your right knee and just let your right fingers come behind you. Feel your sitting bones on the earth. Inhale through a tall spine. And let this twist be more about your chest and shoulders and less about your low back. Really listening to see if your body has any messages, if there are any kind of red flags showing up as you move. We'll come back to center and switch. Keeping that tall spine, the right arm is across. And just let your left shoulder blade pull onto your back. Let your chest open more. Head turns to look back. And then come back to center. So we've just moved in the 6 ways the spine likes to move, and we're going to do that again. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, draw your body toward the left, and this can be really small or big. Come back to center. Exhale to the right. Inhale, center. Lower your hands to your knees. Inhale, pull your chest forward, find a back bend. Exhale, either to neutral or round spine. You decide. Inhale, twist to the right. Exhale, come back, center. And inhale, twist to the left. Exhale, center. Let's go one more time. Exaggerating breath. Arms overhead. Lean toward the left. Good. Reach up high, center. And exhale, stretch right. Reach high. Put that traction in the spine. Exhale, hands to the knees. And then inhale, find that back bend, spine extension. Exhale, either neutral or round spine. Your back gets to choose. Inhale, twist to the right. Exhale, come back center. Breathe in as you go to the left. Exhale, come back to center. Roll your shoulders one more time. If you happen to be sitting on a cushion, take that out from under you at this point and just sit with your legs straight out in front of you. And once again, we're going to find that, we're going to clear that flesh. So 2 choices. If you are experiencing back pain today, I want you to stay with your neutral spine and just breathe right here, hands by your side. This is Dandasana. It's a fabulous pose. You can pull your toes back, shoulders on your back. If your back is feeling good today, walk your hips back a little bit more and begin to hinge forward from the hips, taking that long spine with you. And you might stop here with the spine long. If your back is feeling okay today, go ahead and come into spinal flexion, just remembering that that's where we can start to make the discs more susceptible. I'm just going to find where your body is today between upright and forward fold. Your hamstrings are still getting what they need. Just breathe here. Feel the length in the back of your body. Imagine a rubber band at the bottom of your feet, and it's coming up around the back of your legs, across your back, and to the crown of the head. Make that rubber band longer. Stretch it from your feet to your head. And we'll come back to an upright if you're not already there. Slide your hands back more, bend your knees, feet come to the earth, and we're going to lift up into a reverse tabletop. Feel that stretch across the shoulders, collarbones, hips, and release. From this seated position, sweep your legs around and let's come to a tabletop. And in this tabletop position, the first kind of instinct is to go through cat and cow, and we're not going to do that here just yet. I'm going to give you my favorite physical therapy exercise. So I want you to pick up your left hand 1 inch off the mat and your right knee. So we're just hovering right there, and you can feel your low belly engaged again. Imagine holding a glass of water on your lower back. You can stay right here or reach out. Just listening to that core, that spine. Ease your way back in and replace. And let's go other side, 1 inch, hand and knee. It's a really great and therapeutic place to stay. If you'd like, you can reach out. As you just listen to your lower back, let's just alternate back and forth. So you might just be lifting 1 inch on each side as a way to stabilize your sacrum and engage your core. You might be extending out as you alternate side to side. Hug your low belly in fiercely. Just really feel that strength in the low belly. We'll go one more time on each side. And then back to a tabletop position. So as we now move through cat-cow, again, I'm going to ask us to inhale into a gentle back bend. And then if you have back pain today, you're just going to come back to neutral. Those of you that are getting a green light, go ahead and go all the way into cat. So as we move back and forth with back pain, take a gentle back bend and back to neutral. Avoid that deep spinal flexion. Less is more. Really just massaging your spine as you move. Nice. As we come back to neutral, widen your knees and start to bring your hips back into child's pose. Just go gently. If your back is bothering you, rest on your elbows instead of coming all the way down. Keep your spine a little more straight. If your back says it's okay, go ahead and lower down more, but notice that's a pretty big stretch in your low back. Just listen. Observe. Nice. As we rise back up to a tabletop position, option for today is to stay here on all fours. If you'd prefer, downward facing dog, tuck your toes. And in down dog, you can just see how that feels to your spine. Sitting bones high, tailbone lifted. Maybe a bend in the knees will help you find a little more length and space along the backside of your body. Good. With knees bent, we're going to take a slow walk forward, and as soon as you get to the top of your mat, bring your hands to your shins and find that flat back. Low belly engaged. If you use a block, this is a great place to put a block in front of you. Put your hands on a block. From here, find that crease in your hips and fold over your legs. So you might bend your knees a bunch to give your back a place to rest. Let's do that again a few times. We're going to press to half lift and lower. And as we come up to that half lift, bring your hands again to the crease of your hips and move from your hips with a straight spine back to standing. One of the best things, another great thing we can do with our back is avoid that rolling up one vertebra at a time. So I like to use the image of foosball. If you've ever played with a little foosball table, kicking the soccer ball, imagine that you're a little guy on the foosball table and you've got a bar through your hips. You're going to grab that bar with the handles and roll yourself forward. So let's try that a few times and back up. So we're rolling into that flat back. Our movement is from the hips and we're avoiding that spinal flexion. You might have heard a million times, roll up one vertebra at a time. That's really straining to the low back. Let's go one more time, forward and up, movement from the hips. Awesome, you guys. Sweep your arms overhead. Find extended mountain. Let's do what we did earlier. Press into the earth the way you did with your sitting bones, and now pull your body up away from your feet. Take a hold of one wrist and stretch to the side. Good. Inhale, center. Stretch the opposite way. Beautiful. Come back to center. Cactus your arms. Exhale as you open your chest. A little bit of a back bend. Inhale, center. And then with knees soft, twist to look over your right shoulder. So you're going to split your arms. One arm goes forward, one arm goes back. Come back up. Bend your knees, twist to look over the left shoulder. And arms come back up. Palms meet, knees bend. Hinge from the hips like that foosball guy as you bring your hands through heart center. Bend your knees a bunch, rest on your thighs, forward fold. Press hands to shins. And on the exhale, bend your knees even more, hands to the mat, drop one knee and then the other. Exhale back, child's pose. You can stay here or tuck your toes and lift into downward facing dog. Shifting forward, come onto your knees. You're also welcome to be on your toes, plank pose. From here, spin the elbows, lower halfway down. And then let's melt our bodies to the floor. Everybody come up to an easy cobra. It's a great place to stay. If you'd prefer, press your hands and feet into the earth and lift into up dog. Drop your chin, exhale back, child's pose. Coming up to a tabletop position, step one foot forward and then the other, forward fold, belly on the thighs. And then we'll press halfway, find that foosball handle, roll yourself to standing, arms come overhead, and come to heart. So what we just did was a really gentle sun salutation. So we're going to do a couple more, and I'll cue it that way. But those of you that choose a higher intensity, you know how to do that. You guys know how to take that up a notch. But I'm going to take a gentle route one more time. So inhale, arms reach. Exhale, hinge from the hips, flat back, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, set your knees on the mat, go to child's pose or down dog. Shifting forward, knees or toes, plank pose, lower halfway down. Core is strong as you lower to the earth. Lift to either cobra or upward facing dog. Listen to your back. And then exhale, child's pose or down dog is great too. Come to a tabletop position. Step one foot forward. Tuck the back toes and come into forward fold, knees bent. Flat back, find the foosball handle, rise up high, extended mountain. And bring your hands to your heart. Amazing, everyone. We're going to go one more time. I'll go gentle. You take this where you want. Inhale, reach. Exhale, hinge from the hips. Forward bend. Knees are bent. Half lift. As we come down, set your knees to the mat, child's pose or down dog, your choice. Let's come forward with vinyasa, knees or toes. Cobra or up dog. And back down. Child's pose or down dog. Just listening to your body, looking for signals on the dashboard. You're getting a green light, a yellow or a red light. As we come up to our knees, we'll step forward, tucking the toes, forward fold. Knees are bent. And then coming to that flat back, use your foosball handle, stand tall, arms reach. Nice. And draw your hands into your heart. Good. Really nice. Hopefully your body's a little more warm. Feet are hip distance apart. We're going to find that hip crease again and come down into a chair. Use your thumbs. I want you to just bounce up and down a couple of times here and see if you can feel, as you press in, your hip bones rolling across the outside of your thumbs. So if I get a little closer to the camera, if I tuck my tailbone and round my back, there's too much space here. If I arch too much, my thumbs don't have a space. See if you can find a thumb width space. And that's where your core can be engaged and your low back is neutral. Option now to bring the arms out or up and find chair pose. Let your legs work. Let your core hug in nice and tight. And then let's just memorize that space. Inhale, arms reach to the back. Exhale, sit back into your chair. Inhale, stand, arms press behind. Just teaching ourselves to move from the hips and keep the spine strong, long, and neutral. Go one more time, down into chair pose. Breathe. Stand tall. This time, arms reach all the way up overhead. And from the hips, swan dive, forward fold. Press hands to shins, lift halfway. And exhale, either onto your knees or back into downward facing dog. Choose to stay here or flow through vinyasa. Your choice. On the inhale, let's come into plank pose. We're going to drop our left knee to the mat and bring the right knee around to the top of the mat. So we find ourselves in this kneeling lunge. Good. Let's tuck the back toes, making it a low lunge. And then pressing our hands onto our front knee, lift and go slowly. Listen to what's happening in your spine, in your low back. It might feel better to stay low for some of you today. Good. So arms can be low or high, but we're moving into warrior one, and this is another pose that can be problematic for the low back. So just see in your own body, staying on the toes or dropping that back heel. See if you notice a difference in your low back, and just do each a couple of times. Notice that when you drop that heel, the hips want to open a little bit, and you can let them. Hips forward with the lunge, hips open with the warrior. So whatever feels best, you're going to choose for that back foot today. And then the hands come down to heart center. We're going to twist again in this upright position. So just start to rotate your torso to the right. You can bring your right hand to your low back, your left hand to the knee in front of you. That's a great place to stay. You might open your arms in a more vertical version of a twist. See if you can feel some length in that left hip flexor. It's really helpful for low back pain to stretch hip flexors. Take some deep breaths here. Let's come back with our hands in front of our heart. We'll bring the hands to that front leg and help ourselves back down to the earth, dropping the knee again to the mat. Now I'll go a little deeper into that hip flexor. So start to move forward and back, slow and easy. These two muscle groups, hip flexors and hamstrings, both indirectly attached to the low back. Well, one of them directly. So they're big players in back pain, both. See if you can find a place in both directions where you're getting a nice release, not too much, not too little. And then bringing the hands to the inside of the right foot, switch. Come back to tabletop position and draw the left foot forward. Take your time. Transitions are important. From here, we'll tuck the back toes and lift the knee. And you're just going to start listening to your low back. Maybe right here is the best place to stay. If you feel pretty good there, go ahead and come to upright. And your hands can be on your hips or overhead. Your low back is choosing. So now explore here. Heel down, heel up. Notice that shift, hips open, hips forward. And see if either of those positions creates anything in your low back. Whichever you've chosen, bring your hands to your heart. And then the left hand to the low back, right hand to the knee. Start with a gentle twist. See if that gives you a green light. And if all is well there, maybe open those arms into a wider twist. Deep breath filling your body. Yoga is designed to heal, not hurt. So we want to keep that in mind in all of our postures. Are we healing something here? As we rotate back to center, let's drop our hands, shifting forward to the earth. We'll drop the knee to the mat. And then beginning the action of hamstring and hip flexor length. Move slow, breathe deep. Feel, explore. If you look at where the sacrum, the SI joint, is placed in the body, it really is a hub that connects one tall structure called spine, upper body, splitting into two structures, two legs. So there's a big superhighway there. Lots happening. Let's bring the hands to the inside of the left foot, coming back into a tabletop position. And then choose if you'd like to take a couple of vinyasa here. It might feel good to just do a gentle cow to neutral. Might be a nice reset between sides, but go ahead and do vinyasa if that's what your body is calling you to today. let's once again draw our right foot to the top of the mat. Tucking the back toes, lifting the knee. You can stay on your toes if that feels better, or drop the heel. Let's press up to Warrior One. Warrior One is kind of an issue for people that struggle with back pain. So as we open out to Warrior Two, this gives our spine a much more comfortable place to be. Our spine can be neutral here with the hips open to the side. So we're going to be here for a few breaths. Let's turn the palms up, straighten the front legs, and reach the arm overhead. Inhale. And then exhale, drop the arms back down to Warrior Two. Inhale, palms up, straighten your right leg. Exhale down. As you move with breath, feel that tall, neutral spine. And from Warrior Two now, pause. Right palm turns up. Take a gentle reach backwards, reverse warrior. And side angle, resting on the thigh. We move here with breath. You can choose as big or small movement as you want, as your lower back dictates. Lateral flexion, super healthy movement for the spine. Moving with breath. Let's go one more time in reverse. Exhale, Warrior Two. Straighten your front leg and turn all 10 toes to the long edge of your mat. Bring your hands back to your hips. Find your foosball handle. And we're going to shift forward, moving from the hips so the chest stays lifted, the spine stays long. As soon as you can reach the floor, let fingertips drop, and then continue down from the hips. Spine long, chest forward. Ease yourself down into a wide-legged fold. Exhale here. You're welcome to soften the knees, to move around a little bit, or just let your spine feel length and traction here. Pointing your sitting bones to the sky and your head to the earth. Again, moving from the hips, fingertips out in front of you, lift and lengthen. See if you can bring that whole spine with you. Exhale down. Let's do that a couple more times. Learning to move from the hips and keep the spine set neutral. One more time, nice long spine, and then we'll start to turn toward the left or the back edge of our mat. Turn your toes. Again, you can start to find out if it's better to be on your toes or in that warrior stance. Let's come up. And we'll peel ourselves open into Warrior Two, where the back is a little more neutral and happy. Straightening the left leg, palms reach up, deep breath in. Exhale, open. Warrior Two. Make this movement as big as your body allows. Navel to spine, wrap the muscles around, protecting your low back. Beautiful, everybody. Exhale, Warrior Two. And we'll begin lateral flexion. Turn the left palm, reverse warrior. To side angle, moving with your breath. Make this as big or small, fast or slow as your spine invites. love the saying, motion is lotion, and it's really true for the discs of the spine. Even if all you can do is tiny movement, it's therapeutic to move your spine and get breath and blood flow. Let's go back one more time, and we'll settle into warrior two. Turning the toes, bring your hands to those foosball handles, chest lifted, and again, let's come down into a wide straddle. Fold, fingertips touch the floor as soon as they can. And then guide yourself down from the hips into a deeper forward bend. This is your time to just be here however you like. Bend and straighten, twist. Draw your torso to one leg and then the other. Use your hands. What allows you to feel like you're lengthening through the whole spine, tailbone to crown. Let's bring our hands in front of us and press again to the long spine. We'll start to walk towards the top of our mat once again, and then dropping both knees to the mat. You're welcome to take one more vinyasa if you like, or maybe a cow to neutral. And then when you feel ready, we're going to lower ourselves all the way down to the mat. So for lower back pain, chances are we've been tight through the hip flexors and sitting with a rounded back. So we're going to go opposite that now by lifting up into a gentle cobra. I like to be on my fingertips for this and just lift to a comfortable place and then lower back down. So find a pace that matches your breath, lifting and lowering. Stop when you feel muscles contracting but no pain. So we're kind of moving into that place where maybe you've noticed muscles kind of seizing up. We're think of it just a really soft little fist with those muscles, inviting them to contract and then to relax. We're saying to our muscles, I hear you, I feel you, I'm aware, I'm listening. And then find a place to hold a little back bend. So you're welcome to rest elbows in Sphinx. Some of you may want to go all the way into bow pose here. Find a back bending posture where you can close your eyes and allow your back to communicate with you. Thinking of the muscles that run from the base of the neck all the way down to the sacrum. What would those muscles say to you? These muscles are designed for support, for strength, to keep us upright. They back us up, literally. Take one more deep breath into the back muscles, sending love and healing energy. And then super slow release. Allow one cheek to come to the earth. Gently sway your hips from side to side. Let your low back settle here. And then turn your head the other way. Give your neck a chance to be balanced. Breathe into your belly, into your low back. And let your hands then come to your shoulders. Pull your abdominals in. Use the strength of your arms to lift. And slowly transition to a seated position. We're going to bring the soles of our feet together in butterfly. If you'd like to be sitting on a block or a pillow, sometimes that's helpful to the low back. So we moved our spine in 6 directions earlier. We're going to do that again and see how things feel now. So left hand to the earth, right arm to the sky. Breathe and take a side body stretch. Small or big, your choice. As we come back to center, switch. Inhale tall and then exhale. Bend toward the right. Easing back to center, hands on the knees. Inhale to pull yourself up into a little chest lift, back bend. And exhale either to neutral or rounded spine. Let your low back decide where it wants to go. Coming back upright, rotate to the right side, use one knee. See if anything has loosened up or lightened up back there. Come to center and switch. Might be a good idea to say out loud, I love you, spine. I love my back. I'm here to take care. I'm here to heal, not harm. Come back to center. Draw your knees together and we'll use the backs of our legs to guide us down to our back. So you can lead with your chest. Keep that neutral spine as much as possible and then just descend to the earth. Draw the knees in, but don't squeeze super tight today. Just let your back be flat on the floor. Almost like you're more interested in pressing the tailbone toward the earth than hugging the knees in. So the arms are long. Just rock side to side. You'll notice your lower back being off the earth a little bit. Just being tender. Let the feet press to the earth. Let the fingertips come to the ground on either side of your heels or toward your heels. And then instead of rolling up, lift your whole spine up today. Just bring the whole spine up, resting on the backs of the shoulders. You feel that your glutes are engaged a little bit to hold you here. Bring your fingers to your low belly. See if you can engage those muscles as well. Either rest your arms or interlace, opening up a little more through the shoulders. Breathe here. Strong back, soft front. As we release the hands, let's roll the hips back to the earth. Take the feet wide, pinky toes touching the edge of the mat. Open your arms out into a T and just begin to windshield wiper your knees back and forth. Let them go all the way to one side and all the way to the other. And just notice as you drop that inner thigh toward the earth, what do you feel in your back? Less is more. And we'll take the legs to the left side and pause there. Arms extended. Look over your right shoulder. Let's take some deep breaths here. No strain, no pain, just a twist. And slowly come back to center, switch sides. Knees drop to the right, head turns to the left. And let's come back to center. Bring your feet back in line with your hips, and then take your thumbs again to the crease of your hips. Push your legs away. You might use the heel of your hand. See if you can kind of push your femur bones away and walk your shoulders up. Again, looking for this length, this traction, this space in the spine. When you feel all of that length, rest your arms. You might feel a gentle curve beneath your back. For some of you, if you're experiencing pain today, you might just stay right here. Knees bent, maybe teepeed in on each other. Another option that's nice for the low back is soles of the feet together, knees dropped open, Supta Baddha. And if you're comfortable, you can extend out into Shavasana, body long, resting here on the earth. If there's some other way that you feel comfortable, maybe it's pillows underneath you, allow yourself to feel that and find that. We're here for just a few minutes, but we are here to heal. We're here to find comfort and rest. We're here to find some ease, some moments of rest. Imagine that the job of your breath is to heal your lower back. As you breathe these deep, slow breaths into the lowest part of your spine, your sacrum, your tailbone, we're typically looking at the root chakra. This is our center of survival, of self-protection, self-preservation, our center of stability. When our own survival is threatened, we feel fear. And when fear takes up residence in our body, we can notice it here in our root chakra. We contract, and the energy here can be tight and restricted and stagnant. We can begin healing this part of us with breath, with awareness, and with a belief that I have a right to be here and I am safe here. I have a right to be here and I am safe here. Before returning to a seat, see if there are some gentle movements that your body would like here. Any stretches, any movement. And then what could be the most tender and kind transition from here back to a seat? That seat invites those sitting bones right back underneath us, and maybe on a pillow, maybe on a block. We'll inhale to reach the arms up, a way to lengthen again through the spine, that traction, that lifting up away from those pinched vertebrae. Take a deep breath in, and then let your hands come right into the center of your heart, this gratitude. Take a moment here to just thank yourself for making time for movement, for awareness, for healing. You have a right to be here. And in this moment, on this yoga mat, you are safe. I invite you to come back here whenever you need to just ground and center and heal. Have a wonderful healing day with peace and calm. Namaste.